Welcome to Occult 101. I'm Frater BF. In the last video with no video, we went over the basic ideas that formulate the overall philosophy of Hermeticism. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the first principle, the principle of mentalism. It's really the most fundamental idea in all of Hermetic thought. It's what many things, or really all things, are built upon. And if you can wrap your head around this, then all of the things you encounter in Hermeticism or magic and the like take on a new form and new meaning. It's probably the reason why I'm even involved in any of this to begin with. I'd say it's a cornerstone in my personal paradigm. The principle of mentalism essentially just means that all things are mind. The universe is mind, and everything that exists has been forged through a process of mental distillation where the physical counterpart of the mental construct boils to the surface and out into the world. All things exist firstly as an idea or an ideal. The physical world is a quantitative abstraction of these qualitative ideals. It is a projection of the formless into form. Just as words are born in the mind and then formed into syllables, the universe itself existed first as information, and it was spat out into existence in the form of light and sound. The physical world itself is really nothing but information. Information that has been encoded into a matrix of frequencies that build our perceptual reality. The materialist conceives that the whole of consciousness is dependent upon a physical form, and that consciousness itself is merely a byproduct of physicality, but the world of scientific discovery is slowly catching up to the mystic. Advances in scientific thought, especially in the realm of quantum physics, tend to bolster this worldview rather than refute it. The brain is not the storehouse of consciousness, but rather it is a mediator between worlds. It is an interpreter that formulates a coherent structure of patterns from the web of information that is present. Awareness is not regulated solely to a brain, and we can see this in the life and behavior of plants. Our system of cognition is much more in depth, but it is still a matter of interpreting the stimuli, the frequencies, and assimilating this information within the complex of the cell. Thoughts and ideas exist outside the parameters of the brain and are processed into signals through its function. These thoughts and ideas are just as real as any physical object. They just exist inside a different frequency range or dimension. Human awareness is much like a tesseract, a space within a space, not separate from the physical, but within it. The mystic has long known that the mind is the progenitor of the physical world. The Kabbalist glyph known as the Tree of Life is a diagram which details the procession of consciousness into form. From its inception into one to its conception into many, the source of all reality is a state of universal mind. From this, it becomes self aware and splits, and so forms what is called the supernal triad. And this idea is where triplicities emerge, such as Father, Son, Holy Spirit, etc. It moves further downward and formulates what could be termed the emotional, mental, and astral bodies. Dangling from the bottom of the tree is Malkuth, the kingdom. This is the physical world, which springs into form from its astral counterpart in Yesod, the foundation. This same structure is inherent in the human form, following the same pattern and clearly illustrating the mental nature of reality. When the will is referenced in magical context, it is giving a name to the application of shaping reality through the mechanisms of the mind. It is because our minds are intimately connected with the source of all creation that these things are made possible. The force of the will is forged in Yesod, where reality is thus shaped into form. It is like a farmer planting seeds. The seed itself contains all the information of the fruit to be harvested. The farmer must not only plant the seed, but also nourish it so that it is born out into the world. The universe is mental in nature. Drill this idea into your head if you wish to proceed into occultism. Be conscious of your psychology and everything you reinforce inside your mind, because these are the things which ultimately shape your experience of life. This is the reason why I feel astrology is relevant. The universe was born in the same way as our minds. The universe itself exists as nothing but information, and because we are made through the same mechanisms and also of the exact same substance, we are part of this information. And so something like the time of our birth is relevant because we are forged from this stream of information, the conditions of the universe, that organism from which we are molded. Those things provide a framework to our design and function. I feel that if science is ever able to witness the actual birth of an idea as a thought, then it would be simultaneously witnessing the birth of our own universe. The universe is mental in nature, mind over matter. When you understand this concept, things like extrasensory perception, for example, become a lot less mystical. There's a reason why certain government agencies have experimented with things like remote viewing and astral projection. They know it works, and they know it is because the mind is plugged directly into the source and can bypass physical limitations. It's easy to get lost in the noise of the physical world and be bemused by its deafening wail. It is dense and thick and heavy. It's the bass tones rattling your bones from the tricked out Hyundai at the red light, the one with the 1 inch thick tires and the spoiler on the back. It's real obvious and screams for attention, but there's layers upon layers of frequencies out there underneath all of that, and this is the realm of the mind. The mind itself is layered, and the mystic has provided ways in which to navigate these layers. Meditation and yoga are processes of digging through those layers and getting to the root. The universe is mental in nature. Say it a million times if you have to. Entwining this idea in your perception is the key which opens up many doors of possibility. It is the link in the chain that connects you to the world around you and to those beyond it. Until next time, agape.